Namaste. I, Preeti Pranav Jain, welcome you on our next episode of the DilSe Dialogue, an amazing initiative by BVSS for inspiring women entrepreneurs and bringing women role models in front. When dreams get wings and when confidence can fly higher than clouds, then success can touch the horizon. Yes, we are talking about a person who created her own mark, flying above the clouds, literally. She has been a successful pilot, a wife of an Air Force pilot, mother of two teenage kids, a motivational speaker, a woman with substance. She has defied all challenges and defined her identity against all odds. It gives me immense pleasure to read out her resume. It will surely bring you all a smile because there is so much that she has done and achieved. I'm feeling so humbled and obliged that Namrita is with us today. Miss Namrita Chandi, an ex Indian Air Force helicopter pilot with 26 years of experience, Chief Ambassador of the Successful Women, a global initiative. Worked as vice president of an aviation company, worked with a renowned aircraft manufacturer and sales of helicopters in India and Southeast Asia. Acknowledged as the first women pilot in the world to have flown in the Siachen Glacier. Not yet completed. Featured in the Limca Book of World Records for being first pair of sisters in the world to have flown together as pilot and co-pilot in an aircraft. Attained National Women Achievers Award Ananya by Ministry of Women and Child Welfare, Government of India in year 2007, and she has also authored a book Unseen Wings on her memoirs and experiences. I can take a breath now. Reading so much about Namrita, I'm so humble and I welcome you on behalf of BVSS and our president, Mr. Naval Kishore Bajaj. A warm welcome, Namrita.
Thank you so much, Preeti, and thank you so much. I'm really humbled with that introduction that you've given, and it's indeed a pleasure for me being here on this platform and talking to you. So yes.
First of all, please accept my gratitude for accepting to be with us and just give us your valuable time. And as we all know that this is a very short interview of 18 to 20 minutes and we really have less time, but lots to learn and listen to you. I'm super excited and I'm sure that so are our viewers too. Should we start? Because I'm feeling a childlike curiosity in myself talking to you right now, like a fan kind of thing feeling coming to me. Okay, so Namrata, I'm really curious, and I know you have answered it n number of times, but still, I want to ask you that what made you choose such career which no woman at that time when you entered they used to think about it, and not only you alone, but your sister too. So, what and who inspired both of you?
Yes, Preeti, I think it dates back to my childhood growing, and I've also mentioned this in my book. If someone happens to read, the details are all there. So while growing up, I realized how important was it for, especially for women, in the society that we were living, to kind of have their own voice, to be heard, to have the ability to take their own decisions, to be independent financially, emotionally, right? And that came alongside my growing up. So I always wanted to do something different, something special, something that was unheard of, unseen of those days. And actually, women being in aviation, and especially in military aviation, was just not there. The opportunity never existed. But this fire did, it kept burning slowly within me. And what also kind of shaped our determination to be in uniform, to be able to fly, was my cousin, my first cousin, who was a fighter pilot. And he was kind of a role model. We were kids, and he would come and he would talk about stories of how it is to be in uniform, how it is to fly the planes and stuff. And we would really look up to him. And unfortunately, we lost him due to an accident while we were still kids. But his, he had a huge positive influence on us. He continued to be a role model for very long. And the moment we got an opportunity to do something similar of being in the uniform and flying, I think we didn't even give second thoughts. We just grabbed it. So yes, he did shape our kind of. He did motivate us to be in uniform long time back when there were no opportunities existed. But where it actually comes from is the ability to, does just do things that were kind of so unknown, unfamiliar, rare, though that point in time, and that was a challenge which I just loved getting into. So it happened, it came naturally to us, with all the experiences I had in my childhood with my role model, who was my cousin. And yes, that's where it comes from.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, but at the same time, यही कहना चाहूँगी, लोग चले जाते हैं, निशा छोड़ जाते हैं, and your brother, who is like a guardian role, not only a role model but a guardian angel for you. It's really
Yes.
inspiring that something just sticks. And I remember whenever we used to see people, officers in uniform, that only brings a kind of pride, that ownership, and you have accepted that with grace. You have used that. I don't know. I don't have any words. I just said I'm feeling like a childlike enthusiasm in me right now. Thanks for sharing that. And so you must have felt many obstacles during your training, flight training. So what was some significant obstacles, if you remember?
So, like a pretty, we came from an absolutely civil background, and that point in time when we had to join, there was no one to guide us or to tell us the list of do's and don'ts or what to expect and how to behave and what to do. We absolutely had nobody with us. So we just went with an open mind there. And there we realized, we had a course mates who, most of them came from military background. They had someone to guide them and tell them. And we were absolutely from civil background. We were so used to being mollycoddled by a mom, eating those ghee-soaked parathas, not used to a tough physical regime. And then on top of that came flying. So I was, the biggest challenge that came for me was that I had two fears. I had fear of heights and I had fear of, I had road sickness.
Oh,
And I knew both of them would come in my way of, being successful in this particular career that I so badly wanted to be in. So coping with all that came so suddenly in a big way, that we were kind of, not briefed, but we were mentally prepared to take on whatever it came in the stride, to be in the moment. And I think what basically helped us was that, uh, we didn't come with any preconceived notions. We were just so open to everything that came our way. And that kind of set the right pace for us, because my sister was there alongside with me. And like I said, we both course-mates. And that also was a coincidence that we ended up as course-mates. So that wasn't planned. That just happened. And so for both of us, we had huge challenges of just getting used to that kind of routine, which was very, very demanding. Our day would start at, waking up at 4 o'clock, starting with a 5 kilometer run. And I remember the first few days of training, we just couldn't walk straight. We had all kind of ligament tears and shear pain and etc. etc. But there were no times we could make any kind of excuses, and we just had to do it. So all that came with a lot of mental toughness, a belief in yourself, a belief that you could face whatever challenges came your way. And then once flying started, that was a different ball game altogether, because never I just sat once in an aircraft in my life, and now here I was flying an aircraft. So that itself was a huge challenge, learning the checklist and learning how the aircraft flies and making it land, and all the SOPs and the procedures and the emergencies, etc., etc. So I think what made us sail through, like I said, was a growth mindset, an open mindset, which I so much advocate now when I speak to a lot of aspirants and women, to help them in their careers as well. So that was, I think, that is what was the saving grace we had. And then I said the rather than operating from fear, operating from faith, that come what may, we're going to make it in spite of whatever challenges come through. So I think, yeah, all that was kind of supported us to go through or the training phase and successfully kind of graduate with our wings.
Wow. So much learning in one question I just got from you, and it is so interesting and surprising that even if you are having the fear of heights, you became a pilot.
Yeah,
You chose faith over fear. And about how beautifully you said that the best thing was that open mindedness to embrace what may come, and you were mentally prepared for that.
yeah.
Sure, it was a journey worth sharing 100 times. It must be. So I was reading your resume where you have mentioned that not only to Siachen Glacier, but a desert and different geographical places you have taken your aircraft. So, what is your favorite flying memory?
Yeah, the favorite undoubtedly is the Siachen Glacier. I think because, no matter of money can give you that experience which I got flying there. Um, the lessons, the leadership lessons that I've learned while flying at the highest battlefield in the world are actually priceless. Um, and the life lessons that I've also learned there, right? The life lessons, I think the biggest moment was to just embrace and understand that every moment in life is precious because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Flying in those terrains, in those conditions was tough. It was tough physically and mentally. And also, you were kind of flying at the endurance of your capabilities and the capabilities of the aircraft. And flying there absolutely has no scope of error because even a small mistake can turn into a disaster. And having said so, I've also kind of lost so many of my colleagues and my course mates during that tenure, and very dear friends. So makes me feel this kind of you know understanding the true meaning of life and knowing that every moment of life needs to be cherished and to be lived fully for being in the moment. So these are some of the lessons I've learned. But as far as the flying experience is concerned, I think that was the best. Flying in those terrains, flying against everything. Everything is working against you. The temperatures, the lack of oxygen, the heights, the downdrafts, the small size matchbox helipads flying in vicinity of the enemy, where there's a lot of you just if you tend to overshoot, just end up on the other side, and there's a lot of firing happening from that side. Serving the soldiers who are living in those conditions kind of made me feel that what I'm going through, my challenges are absolutely nothing, and that is what motivated me to do that day in and day out. And it's been the most precious experience of my life, which I'm just so close to my heart.
Namrita, when you were talking about those places which we just have heard, or maybe we have seen in the movies or somewhere, we can just try to visualize and try to understand a bit what all the soldier goes through. We can't even think of that, and we're grateful from the deepest core of our hearts. And how beautiful the big lesson you have shared with us, that every moment of life is meant to be cherished. We don't know what will happen the next moment.
Correct.
Lovely. As I know that you are married to another helicopter pilot, and you have two teenager kids. Okay, so and your profession is too demanding, very very highly demanding, and we can't even think of the challenges you go through on a day to day basis. So in such tough challenges and situations, how did you manage, or I should say, balance your personal and professional life?
Um, yeah, I think Preeti, there is. I don't think the balance exists. There's no balance, and it's only when we are trying to strive for balance we kind of get unbalanced. And I think it's more about satisfaction in both areas. of your personal and professional life. And every time you try to strike a balance, you kind of keep struggling, and you realize that you're never able to come to that point of equilibrium where yes, now I have got the balance in my life. Never happens like that. So it was like, when you are in your professional, um, in your professional kind of appearance, and when you are in your overalls and when you're flying, you're just there 100%. And when I'm at home with my kids and as a mother, as a wife, I'm just there 100%. I think that really helped. And the kind of trying to balance was what was really not working for me, because then I realized that, um, another thing I realized was having a very strong support system, especially for working women. And that was a lesson that I learned, uh, by just my experiences. And it's like, we ask for help when we want to, because a lot of us, we don't ask for help. And I literally my daughter was just 1 month old when I joined back work. And that point in time, and I got my physical fitness very soon, within a couple of months. And I had to be on detachments for months together, and they were demanding requirements which I had to fulfill and couldn't say no. And the option of quitting did exist that point in time. I could have quit my profession, because a lot of women, when they came to this junction, they quit. And the few lessons I realized was that, ask for help, right? Never shy away. Ask my in-laws, I told them, please come in and help me out. I need your help. And they were like more than willing, and more, they were very happy to come in and do so. I looked for a maid full time, right, who could be with me when I was away, and who could look after my daughter. And that point in time, I did not quit, because I realized that that was not an example I wanted to set for my daughter when she grows up. I don't want her to know that, her mother gave up when she faced challenges. So I thought being the role model for my child gave me all the more reason not to quit, but to carry on. When I faced, and this kind of was a challenging time, because a lot of times we're torn between a professional, self, and the mother, and the mother's guilt is huge. Nobody is kind of free of that, but it's just how you learn to deal with it is what matters. So these were some things, some lessons that I learned from my own experience. And um, and this, just coming to your question of balancing work and life, I said I was just in that role 100%, whatever I was doing. And probably that is what made me get that satisfaction from both the ends.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hearing you very well, Namrata, because in during my coaching conversation, I keep meeting working women. Either they quit at that juncture, or
Mm.
they carry on that heavy motherly guilt.
Yeah,
Whatever they do, but that guilt doesn't leave them.
yeah.
Okay, they
I
need to
think a lot of
learn to cope up with that.
yeah, they live living in either regret or in guilt. So the regret
Yes.
is they had to give up their careers for their personal self, or the guilt that, the mother's guilt that kicks in, that they had to sacrifice their personal life or the time with the kids for their careers. So I think there is a midway, where you, and it totally depends on how you deal with that situation.
True, true. So so beautifully, the very first thing you said, that there is no as such called balance. The more you try to balance things, you struggle. And secondly, which I really liked, is like wherever you are, be 100%.
Mm.
Give your 100%. If at your profession or at your home, just give 100%, then you'll be satisfied that you have done your part. So maybe
Mm.
that will help you to deal with that guilt and the regret part. And the best, which I keep listening during when I talk to the women like you who are so successful, and one thing I heard commonly is like, ask for help. And this is such a big life skill these days, asking for help, which normally we shy away, that we'll do it by yourself, ourselves, but that's not possible.
Mm. Yeah.
So thanks for sharing that. And the time is running fast, and so much to ask you. I don't know what to ask and which one to leave. But yes, would definitely like to ask one thing, that what advice would you like to give to the next generation of young female who are very interested in aviation?
Yes, I think my only advice would be just follow your dreams. If you have a passion in aviation, just go ahead. But be very clear what are the QRs that you need to fulfill to be in that profession. For instance, if you have to do whatever, it could be commercial flying, it could be military flying, you have to have science in your plus two as well as graduation. So be clear of what, be very clear, have your plan laid out. You seek assistance if you need to, and just it's a beautiful profession, right? We see so many women now coming up in the commercial stream, so many women coming up in military as well. So if you plan to join military, be in uniform as well as fly, it's a great opportunity to do that, live that passion being in uniform, and get that opportunity to serve the country. And believe you me, that environment which is there in our military forces, especially for women, you will not find that anywhere else. It's like it's kind of grown, it's matured so beautifully, and I've seen that journey from where we were to what it is now. So it's a very kind of a great environment which will make you explore all that you have within you and give your best to to your profession and to the nation. So if you're really interested, I think just go ahead and have no apprehensions, no self doubts, nothing. Just with faith, like I said, leave fear aside and just go ahead and do it. And it's absolutely worth it. Even all the challenges that come alongside are worth it.
Yeah. I wish these lines of yours reaches out to as many women as possible, and they really get inspired with you. I know this is the last question. I'm forced to ask, but because the time is showing me there. So tell me something about yourself which people really don't know about you.
Okay.
A secret.
Something about myself people don't know. I think they think at times I give an impression I'm a very person who's very serious in life kind of thing. But actually, I'm very fun loving. I love to be with
Mhm.
friends. I love to go out. I love to travel. I love to let my hair down at times and just enjoy. So there's a lighter side of me that a lot of people don't see when they see me in that professional avatar. So that
Yeah.
definitely exists, and I just love that part of me as well. Yeah.
Mhm. Then I'm looking forward for the time when we can just unwind and enjoy that funny side of
Yes,
yours.
absolutely. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yeah, thank you very much, Namrita. I just like to say to all my viewers, do find out time to read Namrita's book, Unseen Wings. Am I right? Unseen Wings? Yes, yes. And what do I understand? And from Namrita's, when I was listening to her, and she also strongly believes in this. When you become bigger than your fears and stronger than your challenges, you become limitless. मंजिल उन्हीं को मिलती है जिनके सपनों में जान होती है पंख से कुछ नहीं होता हौसलों से उड़ान होती है Watch out, this is space for the next episode of DilSe Dialogue. Till then, keep investing wisely in your life and celebrate the abundance of everything in your life. Keep dreaming and keep manifesting. Many thanks, Namrita.
Thank you, Preeti. What a pleasure. Thank you. Bye.